What's it like to bike in Denver, Colorado? Got to put the helmet on because we ride with helmets here. We stay safe. I mean, listen, here's the thing. We love biking for fun here, but we also bike for function, to get from point A to point B, to take our kids to school, to pick up groceries. And if you're doing that on a day-to-day basis, you want to stay safe. You wouldn't drive a car without airbags, and I wouldn't ride a bike without a helmet, especially in places where you've got car traffic and auto traffic that you're competing against. I would love to live in a world where we didn't have to compete against cars, and maybe we wouldn't need to be as cautious with helmets. But right now, that's the world we live in. We're looking to improve it and make it better. And that's kind of one of the reasons why today I wanted to look into what it's like to bike in Denver, Colorado. And I'm going to pull up a beautiful visualization of some of the dedicated bike paths that are in Denver, just to show you what we can accomplish if we actually care about doing something. And seeing this is amazing. It might look like this Denver is like a bike infrastructure mecca and the best of the best, but if you look at what Walk Score has for their rating, it's a 73, which they would argue means it's very bikeable, with biking is convenient for most trips. That's great, but it's not 100. It's not a biker's paradise yet. I think you can tell people really care about Denver. What's interesting about Denver is like if you think about the outdoors in the United States, Denver probably comes to mind. It pops up in your head. It has an amazing brand. And I'd say that has both good and negative things, because there's so many amazing places outside of Denver that have unreal outdoors adventures. But it has a great brand, great thing going for it. Good for them, right? But I also want to encourage you to think outside the box. All right, but let's take a deeper look into what's going on here. Rail trails and dedicated bike paths in Denver. You've got the Sandy Creek Regional Greenway, 14 miles. You've got, so this is the main path that's going to go straight through city, which is what path? Is it the Platte River Rail Trail? Platte River? This one here? No, this is the Colorado Front Range Trail. That's what it's called. And you've got a ton of paths going, along the river here and spurting out. So you just want to, if you're moving to Denver and you're considering where you want to live, Littleton's got a ton of great bike paths. You want to position yourself near one of these, because that's going to give you safer opportunities to bike. And you can't just assume all of Denver has great cycling infrastructure, because for instance, if you get lost in South Park Hill, you're kind of far away from these dedicated bike paths. And again, that's kind of the goal. What's cool is these bike paths will take you kind of down into the Front Range Mountains, like into Golden, Clear Creek Trail. Clear Creek, Golden's a really cool spot. There's a near and dear place in my heart for Denver, because my family's from there and I've spent some time there. And I love what it represents too. But yeah, you got some good options here. Look at these more closely if you're curious about where you're trying to stay in Denver and, what it means. One thing that I think people might not know about Denver is, to get to the mountains, you're going to have to, so Golden is kind of like where the mountains start, I'd say, like where you're really at the foothills. But to get from Denver to Golden, it's 16 miles, which is an hour, 37-minute bike ride, or shorter or less, 27-minute drive. You're not right there, but you're quite close. And the view you get of the mountains is just so beautiful. As far as mountain biking in Denver itself, okay, so let's locate Denver proper. Broomfield, Thornton. Where's Denver? Lakewood. Okay, Denver's here. A lot of the mountain bike trails that you see here on MTB project are the Cherry Creek Trail, 42 miles, are just the bike paths. And all these are greens, like the Highline Canal Trail. I believe it probably is, they call it one of the best urban trails in the country. But is it paved? What is it? I believe it might be paved. Looks like it may be bits and pieces are paved and some aren't. Most of this is gravel from what I'm seeing in the photos, and not exactly sure though. Point being is like you wouldn't have traditional single track mountain biking directly in Denver. To get to that, like maybe your closest option is going to be closer to Golden here, which again we just looked at is like an hour, 15-minute bike ride, 15-mile bike ride, 20-minute drive. Let's see directly. By the way, this is the 6th video I've recorded in a row. So if I'm sounding a little slow, that's probably why. So here's the trailhead, Green Mountain Trailhead. Yeah, and we're going to go from Denver, Colorado. Yeah, 14 miles to get to those trails. So that is kind of something that you may not know about Denver, and you may immediately associate it with just mountain biking, mountain biking, mountain biking, but you might need to travel by car to get to a lot of these trails. But once you do, I mean, you got so many options. Just like zoom out in Colorado, and you just stacked with trails, especially the Front Range. Compare that to the eastern Colorado, which is really like kind of an extension of Kansas and Nebraska. And like compare that to New Mexico, like Colorado is stacked. But if you're in Denver, a lot of the mountain biking you're going to be doing is you're going to drive to it. By the way, I want to show you this in Nebraska. This is called the Cowboy Trail. It's a 195 mile trail that takes you. It's like dedicated bike path, which is so sick, car free. I definitely want to do that one of these days. Nonetheless, we're talking about Denver. So let's get back on topic. Gravel roads, Denver, kind of a dead zone for gravel roads. But near Centennial, you got a nice 65-mile loop, kind of far. In Golden, honestly, I feel like if you want to be really embedded in like the gravel riding and the mountain biking culture, well, look up here near Boulder. And Boulder, you're going to have some more close options. Denver's obviously a much bigger city, and you're going to have more of a metropolis there, and population and the things that would come with that. But as far as direct biking in the city, not as much as you would hope. As far as bike packing routes, Colorado has no shortage. This is bikepacking.com. And they have a ton of awesome off-road routes. The closest one is the Colorado Trail, which starts in Durango and goes to Denver. And then there's also one in Boulder that's documented, 77-mile. They call it a weekend loop. Let's look at the Colorado Trail and let's just see how beautiful it is. I mean, that view right there is pretty astounding. And I'll tell you, like looking at it online, it just never does it justice. Because part of the experience is when you're on the bike and you're in pain and you've been biking all day, and then you turn a corner and you see this view, it makes it all worth it in a way that you never could experience from a picture or even from like driving there and just seeing it without actually having to get there, pedals up, or hiking or something like that. So Colorado Trail, it's iconic, legendary. Like if you're into bike packing, like kind of a thing you got to do. It's on my list, but I'm working towards it. And as far as weather, average in Denver is a 7.3. Summer, very sunny. So interesting. There's 245 sunny days in Denver. They get 17 inches of rain, which is a lot less than normal. 60 inches of snow. That's a good amount. But January, February, March, definitely going to be colder. December, November. Let's see how many months you have above a 7. April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 7 months over a 7, 5 months under a 7. In those colder months, though, if you like to ski, great. Drive up to the ski mountains and enjoy those. As far as bike touring, this is adventure cycling, and they have a bunch of on-road and expanding off-road routes here as well. There's the Great Park South, which is it says it's section 1 is 386 miles. That's going to take you through Arapahoe and Roosevelt National Forest, Rocky Mountain National Park. You've got the Great Divide mountain bike route. You've got the Transamerica Trail, which that goes, so like it starts in Virginia, and then once it gets to Colorado, it goes north through the Rockies and then back west through Oregon. So you got a bunch going straight through like the Front Range there. I wish you had some more stuff going like east-west. I guess you do. I mean, you're going to have to go down to like all the way down to Pueblo to start going east into Kansas. And yeah, gosh, it's so beautiful to look at this whole map of opportunity here. So that is Denver, Colorado. To the best of my abilities with the resources I have at hand, Denver is a intriguing place when it comes to biking. They're getting better every day. They've got solid infrastructure, at least in the city. And again, hopefully getting better. As far as mountain biking, there's nothing smack dab in the city like there is in other places I've looked at. And we'll be looking at Boulder soon, Boulder, Colorado, and Fort Collins, Colorado, two other major cities in Colorado that have some mountain biking like really pretty smack dab. Denver doesn't have that as much. But as far as living your day-to-day life on bike, you could do it in Denver for sure. With that being said, if you live in Denver and you're really experienced biking there, I would love to interview you on this show potentially. I think you could bring a lot of value to the community to help them bike better, bike safer, bike further. Regardless, thanks for watching today. Hope you all have a great one and see you soon.